Now let's watch what happens. Here's the Collingwood barriers, and here's the Essendon barriers. Look what happens as it comes close. Can you see how their football identity fades away? Here's the Liberal voters and the Labor voters. Can you see that as the arousal kicks in, with the momentary warning, everyone goes into high arousal, the social fabric collapses into highly aroused interconnection and close bonding, but when it hits, everyone debombs. And what happens is only that part of their character which relates to survival of the fire becomes aroused, and therefore their multi-faceted identities collapse into a single identity of survival. Yeah.
I just want to ask, with children in that situation, do they debond the same as adults, or is there still that help me, like trying to find the parent or trying to get help? Is that?
Well, both are possible. That's what has to be assessed. But the possibility is that they will debond because it's biologically driven. It's biologically driven. Threat stimulates arousal, and arousal activates more primitive survival mechanisms. And those are outside the domain where social attachment resides in the brain. We know we've got the cortex where our conscious, mental life lives, and you've got another layer below that, which is the mammalian brain, where attachment behaviours are rooted, and then below that you've got the reptilian brain, which is common to all vertebrates, where you've got instincts, sex, aggression, food, etc. And you'll only get the... crocodiles don't actually have a very complicated social life. Sharks are totally solitary.
I almost say, like, I've worked where I've worked for 25 years, and I almost say that their debonding goes on because when they come to hospital, and some of these people come without family and parents, they don't talk about it, they don't cry.
They routinely don't talk about it. Yeah.
They don't cry, they just exist and lie in bed. And probably the main thing that they'll talk to you about is pain.
Yeah. So you get a very restricted mode of communication, which is operant. What was the instrumental? It's about dealing with the problems. And that's right. And if we don't understand, I reckon rebuilding the bonding would be as important as keeping infections out of the burns.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't have a milieu that values that. Well, I shouldn't.
We try.
Yeah.
I very quickly...
the institution... the institution doesn't value that because it would alter its way. I worked at the Children's Hospital for 15 years, and it would alter the way it lays out the beds and how it has the systems working and who's working there, and a whole lot of things would change.
I'll talk about now, but I'll explain.
Sorry.
But we do, very quickly now. I will engage psychology and mental health.
Yeah, good.
In situations, say, with children where there's been abduction and it's by another parent, and it blows a real... that really debonds, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The issues around rebonding...
That's a little bit more complicated because you're adding human malevolence to threat.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering.
Which complicates it, So, that's right. Let's just follow this through. So can you see that there's a certain logic to the system that in the aftermath, for a brief moment, that's how it'll be. Everyone wanders out of the smoke, disoriented and stunned, or gets out of the car, or if the car accident or whatever. And that's the debonding moment. That's incompatible with being a functioning, connected human being, and therefore, if we were to remain in that state, our personalities would probably eventually decompose. So, if you look at sects, the psychology of sects, the psychology of brainwashing, you'll see it's all about debonding the person. And then they fall apart and they're putty in the hands of their captors. So therefore, that is only a moment which will evoke a tremendous rebound process. And that's the dynamic in the aftermath.